welcome to my channel. My name is Abby and I started an organizing and decluttering business back in 2018. I have a passion to help people live not clutter-free, but take back their life that stuff stole from them. So here on my YouTube channel, I give tips and tricks, but I'm starting a new series which focuses on helping people share their stories of clutter, whether that means something they were gifted or something sentimental, maybe a family heirloom, maybe a hoarding situation. And it doesn't even have to be a story that is specifically like, oh, I did this and now I'm clutter-free, or now it's all solved. Absolutely not. What it is a story of what people have been through. Maybe it's funny, maybe it's a horror story, maybe it's a story about someone else's life, but it impacted you in some way, shape, or form. That is what I'm starting. And since I'm launching this series, I want to read off what I specifically wrote down because I want to capture it correctly. So my mission is to create a safe space for people to share their clutter stories, which includes inherited things, as I mentioned, but inherited things, gifted, crap, hoarding, etc. Any story to help give other people hope, but more specifically perspective. And again, a safe space to share, like, oh my gosh, I bought this for this amount and I ended up not using it. Like, it's okay that we all have those stories. I have my own stories, right? So that way, you know you're not alone. You are not alone in this clutter process, because it's not always necessarily trying to get to the end result of like, oh my gosh, I decluttered and I'm organized and I never will have the issue again. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Sure, maybe you'll be able to handle shopping better. Maybe you don't shop as much. Maybe you don't spend your money in other areas of buying too many, I don't know, cars or watches or things that just sit in your yard, never being used, right? There's so many examples, but I want that safe space for you to be able to send in your stories. My information will be down below. You just email it in so I can share it with other people. But let me share with you a story. The story is sent in from my mom, and I do have permission from her. I did get permission that I can share this story with you. Also, the space around me is at my mom's home. She has been very intentional to keep things that really not just, fill her soul with beautiful memories or beautiful things, but like this cabinet. This cabinet was from my grandparents, that everything inside of there have been from family members, relatives. They're all very sentimental and very intentional. So it's very apropos that I am filming in front of my mom's beautiful corner of, like, we are 100% Scandinavian, 75% Norwegian, and 25% Swedish. So this Norwegian beautiful table runner is so perfect for this as well. I wish I could go through and explain every single thing that is in her cabinet. Maybe I'll do that of a live one when she is home from Alaska. My mom is absolutely fabulous. She is the most kind, gracious, sweet, loving woman that you would ever meet. I'm not a lot of those things. I'm working on it. I'm getting better. But she is absolutely fabulous, and I am so grateful for her being my mom. I asked her to share one of her stories because she actually, almost exactly a year ago, she lost her mom. Her mom had dementia, and she was in her later 30s, 90s. And then she lost her dad a day after I got engaged. So it's very dear to my heart, and it's hard to even share the story because that's a cool thing with a clutter situation. Everyone has that story in their life, right? Everyone has experienced, whether themselves, other people, family members, or ones that have been passed away. So hopefully I can read the story without crying. My grandparents were phenomenal. And the fact that my mom was even available and able, and her sisters, her other two sisters were able to help out as well. And how beautiful is that? And I mean help out as in go through the home of stuff. Clutter doesn't always have to be a bad thing. Maybe it's boxes that have been left over from someone that passed away. Maybe it's boxes from an ex that has not passed away, but is no longer in your life. Maybe it's from a best friend. Maybe it's from your childhood that you don't want to face because of the fear, the scares, the worries. There's a lot that is tied to stuff, and it's often so easy to think, oh yeah, that's not my problem, or instantly thinking of a hoarding situation. That's not my circumstance. But I like to give an example of go in your closet, go in your office or your garage and get rid of everything. And then come back and tell me and say, oh, it was so easy. I had no issue getting rid of anything. Whatever, are you kidding me? I know you would have plenty of issues trying to even get rid of the majority of it, right? Everyone has a level of hold, of control, of pain, of fear that is tied to stuff in some way. So let's jump in to the story that my mom has shared. And again, I can't wait to hear or have you guys send in any of your stories that you would like me to read up here, just like this one. Let's begin. My journey of minimizing, also known nowadays as decluttering, started with visits to help my elderly parents in their final years. Okay. Prior to that, my accumulation of stuff has never regarded as questionable, as long as it was cute, sentimental, or useful. In other words, if it came in handy now or in the future. While staying in my parents' home, I began to realize that all of their possessions would sooner or later need to be dealt with. Even though they hadn't gone overboard, it was a family trait to keep things, just in case. But it even affected me, as they would comment about all of their stuff when they weren't able to deal with it anymore. I want to pause there for a moment and realize or give perspective that, again, I've been organizing and decluttering homes for over 8 years, and it's so painful for me it's painful to see the reality that so many people push off dealing with stuff, like literal, physical, tangible stuff. They push it off and want to wait. Oh, well, to make that decision tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very dangerous word for any area of your life, right? So that is a very painful thing when they weren't able to deal with anymore. They got to a spot where they were not able to make all those decisions, the perspectives, even some of the stories, right? My grandma started to have a lot of dementia, and thankfully she was able to remember my mom till the end, not all of us grandkids, but there goes those stories. There goes the ability to process through those things and to, again, they weren't, as my mom mentioned, it was a crazy amount. However, it was still a whole household of stuff, and it's heartbreaking. I see that all the time. When I would go back to my own home, I'd begin to look around thinking, what can I get rid of and what can I get along without? I was also inspired by Organized by Abby. I did not ask her I specifically told her this is not a advertisement for me by no means. However, I am her daughter. So thank you, Mom, for putting that in there. Who was a great help to me to get started. We went through some piles and she posed some tough questions to consider. I found tricks that worked for me to eliminate the extras. The main thing for me was just getting started, finding one easy item to get rid of, and that would get the ball rolling. Sometimes I would see if the family wanted anything specific before sending it off to the thrift store. Another method that has worked recently is having a goal of getting rid of only one item a day and being accountable to post it that day to text someone. I find that fascinating. I love that. My mom said that her and her sisters came up with that, or they saw the idea from someone, or they came up with it somehow, but I love that. So they literally text each other each day, hey, this is what I got rid of. So it kind of holds you accountable and knowing that you're being intentional to get rid of something. I mean, something in your home to let go of and have that mental recognition and that reminder of like, oh my goodness, I have to tell my sisters and, or your friend or whoever you want to be the accountability partner. That's a great idea. That really is so helpful. I feel like I've been able to streamline many areas of my home. Now onto the difficult and probably more time-consuming photos and sentimental items that require a different level of decision-making, which that is so beautiful. And I love that she mentioned that, because when I work with my clients, I often say the sentimental items, pictures, letters, more of the family heirlooms, like things that really, really pull at your heart, wait for those till the end. I mean, don't think like, oh, when I get perfectly decluttered and organized, then I will begin that. Because and I say that may never come, in the sense of there's always seasons changing, life moves forward. It is not stagnant in the sense of like time. Everything is moving forward in that sense. So I do suggest waiting till, give yourself like, okay, I'm going to declutter the main part of the house first, or I'm going to declutter that room and get all of the pictures and all the CDs or DVDs together that are all sentimental, and start going through those gradually. So that was beautiful. I'm so glad she mentioned that at the end. So a huge, huge thank you to my mom for sharing that story. That is absolutely beautiful and a good perspective, right? It is so good to hear that, oh my gosh, other people are going through something so similar and so painful. It's kind of the good reality check, right? Thank you again so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for seeing the heart and the passion of why I'm starting this series. I would love to hear any clutter story you have, whether it's a long one or if it's a short one. I would love to hear from you. Again, the instructions on how to do that is below. You literally just send me an email and I will read it off, just like I did with my mom's, and sharing insight or perspective. But I am so excited about this. I want to give people a safe space and an opportunity to get that out of their soul of like, look at this awful thing I bought and then I never used it, right? I just keep thinking of that because I'm like, oh, I have my own stories of that too, right? So thank you again so much for following me. Please subscribe and follow for more, because this is going to be awesome. Thanks, you guys. Bye.